11 scary videos that will creep you out. Greetings, thrill seekers. This collection of 11 spine-tingling videos is sure to give you the chills. These videos depict events that are so unsettling and inexplicable that they will make you wonder what is out there. These videos, which feature unexplainable incidents and ghostly encounters, are not for the timid. So if you dare, join us as we venture into the supernatural shadows. Turn down the lights, gather your bravery, and get ready for 11 terrifying videos that will keep you up at night. Remember to like and give us a thumbs up so we can continue regularly uploading videos. Number 11. Sloss Furnaces, Birmingham, Alabama. 5 years after the Civil War, Birmingham, Alabama came into existence. Colonel James Withers Sloss founded Sloss Furnaces in 1871 in response to the need for tons of pig iron to repair the United States' collapsing infrastructure. According to its official website, the company hired hundreds of people a year after it launched for business. Although blast furnace employment was highly skilled, it was also extremely dangerous, and many workers began dying within the furnaces. According to Reader's Digest, by the early 1900s, things had gotten worse under the harsh foreman James Slag Wormwood, who took risks in order to boost output. During his tenure at Sloss, nearly 50 workers lost their lives on the job site, while numerous others suffered injuries in horrific accidents. In 1906, his employees allegedly threw him into the furnace as payback. If you dare, you can still stroll around Sloss Furnaces grounds today. Along with other paranormal experiences, you might even hear Slag's voice screaming, "Get back to work." Number 10. The Crying Lady in the Dakota, New York, New York. Since its opening in 1884, the Dakota apartment complex has been home to many wealthy and well-known New Yorkers. Two of them, Yoko Ono and John Lennon, moved in 1973. John also met his demise outside the building in 1980. However, John claimed to have seen a crying lady ghost wandering the corridors before that tragic day on December 8. Later, Yoko, who is still a resident of the building, claimed to have seen John's ghost seated at his piano, and that he'd had told her not to be scared. "I'm still here with you." Number 9. The Bell Witch, Adams, Tennessee. If you enjoy horror movies, you may be familiar with the Bell Witch. The narrative served as the basis for the movies An American Haunting and the Blair Witch Project. A man named John Bell relocated his family to Red River, Tennessee in the early 1800s. Now, Red River is known as Adams, Tennessee. Once they were comfortable in their new house, strange things began to happen. The Bell family started to hear strange noises, like barking dogs, rattling chains, chewing rats, and muttering females. That woman quickly became known as the Bell Witch, and a lot of people think she's the apparition of Kate Batts, the Bell family's previous neighbor. Before she passed away, Batts had vowed to exact revenge on the Bell family for their land dispute. It is believed that the Bell Witch poisoned Bell, causing her death later. Number 8. The Ghost of the Crescent Hotel, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. The Crescent Hotel, reputedly haunted, opened in Eureka Springs, Arkansas in 1886. Stay there for the night. During construction, a worker named Michael lost his life. His ghost is believed to haunt room 218. In 1937, Norman Baker, a well-known medical fraudster who considered himself a doctor, acquired control of the hotel. Claiming to have the cure for the illness, he converted the hotel into the Baker Cancer Hospital, which of course, he did not. He used the hotel's basement as a makeshift morgue and buried patients who passed away while under his care. Even after his incarceration in 1940, there are rumors that his patients' souls are still with him. Since the hotel is still operational, visitors frequently report hearing noises and seeing apparitions while they are there. There's even a film from Sci-Fi's Ghost Hunters showing something moving in the basement. Number 7. Hug and Molly is from Abbeville, Alabama. If you want to avoid Hug and Molly's chilly embrace in Abbeville, Alabama, it's best to remain indoors as the sun sets. According to tradition, an enormous figure dressed entirely in black started prowling the streets at night in search of gullible people. Fixated on the individual, she gives them a hug and screams loudly into their ears. Many have recounted stories of encounters with someone they mistakenly believed to be Hug and Molly. Even local parents have used the narrative as a tool to discipline their kids. The community is happy to have its night warden and takes pride in being the home of Hug and Molly. She has even named a family-friendly restaurant. Number 6. The Surrency House Ghost, Surrency, Georgia. In the 1870s, the Surrency clan in modern-day Surrency, Georgia, started to experience paranormal activities. Family members claimed to have seen red eyes peering into the house, heard people laughing and sobbing, and saw objects fly across rooms. Food flew off their plates, and cutlery twisted themselves into unworkable forms. The villagers conjectured that these incidents were spirits' pleas for assistance, believing the family to be capable of saving them. The day the family finally decided to leave the residence, a fire iron reportedly floated up and struck one of the sons in the head. The house burned down in 1925, and no one ever had the courage to live there again. Number 5. The Ghost of Bellamy Bridge, Marianna, Florida. Take a ride over this eerie bridge in Marianna, Florida, which is the subject of countless ghost stories, for a taste of truly haunting love. In the 1830s, Dr. Samuel C. Bellamy, a local politician, married Elizabeth Jane Croom Bellamy. Her dress unintentionally caught fire on their wedding night, leaving the young bride severely burned. She lived at first, but eventually she died. Elizabeth's love for her husband was so intense that it prevented her from sleeping, leading to her burial beside the banks of the Chipola River. From the bridge's vantage point, one can see the dead bride, clad in white, meandering along the banks, built after her death. People report that she either walks through the burning swamps, jumps into the river without hesitation to extinguish the flames, or strolls solemnly along it. Number 4. The Ghost of Deer Island, Biloxi, Mississippi. Anthony Ragusin, often known as Mr. Tommy, told this story back on May 20, 1922, in a Sun Herald column. He reports that 2 fishermen camped up on Deer Island off the coast of Biloxi in the early 1800s. They ignored the noises until they could no longer avoid them. When they went to investigate the disturbance, they found a headless skeleton pursuing them. They swiftly headed for their boat and left the island without further delay. People claim that the bony frame belonged to a pirate, whose commander hacked off his head and left his body behind to serve as a horrifying guardian over hidden treasure. Number 3. Zombie Road, Wildwood, Missouri. Zombie Road, a hub for paranormal activity, is located outside of St. Louis. The road's true name, Lawler Ford Road, is rife with spooky tales, from sightings of indigenous ghosts, meandering the distance, to rail accident victims like Della Hamilton McCullough, struck by a passing train. It developed into a well-liked late-night hangout for teens in the 1950s, a time when several murders also occurred nearby. It's also said to be the headquarters of operations for a murderer named Zombie who broke out of a mental institution. Now designated as a nature trail, the section closes after dark due to hefty fines for those who venture onto it. Number 2. Dead Woman's Crossing, Weatherford, Oklahoma. Atlas Obscura describes this as a standard murder mystery-turned-ghost narrative. After filing for divorce from her husband, Katie Dewitt James fled her Weatherford, Oklahoma home with her infant in the early 1900s. Her family never heard from her, even though she had intended to move in with her cousin. An inquiry revealed that she had taken up residence with Franny Norton, a local prostitute. She last left the house in a carriage with Franny and her child. Without Katie, Franny returned with the blood-soaked child in her arms. Later, someone severed her head and found her body in a local creek. Although there were rumors that her ex-husband killed her with Franny's assistance, Franny insisted she had nothing to do with Katie's demise. However, on the day the police were about to question her, she poisoned herself. But Katie is still here. People have reported hearing the sound of wheels rolling and seeing a woman searching for her infant. People claim to see her as a blue light floating throughout the town. Number 1. Myrtles Plantation, Street Francisville, Louisiana. The most well-known ghost of this plantation, which dates back to 1796 and is located in Street Francisville, Louisiana, is Chloe, according to the official website. Chloe, an enslaved individual, and plantation owner Clark Woodruff allegedly engaged in a sudden affair that ultimately ended. He noticed she started to listen in on his chat. He severed her ear as payback. After that, she left him alone and used a birthday cake to poison the other members of his family. When the other slaves realized what she had done, they hanged her. People claim to see her ghost in a 1992 photo and believe she remains on the site. I appreciate you looking. Remember to subscribe and like our YouTube channel.